He says, I went through a breakup few months ago. The breakup was all of a sudden, and my ex started dating 2 weeks after breakup, and now in a serious relationship with a new girl. He says, I discovered your channel, which has been tremendously helpful. Thank you, Mehran. You're quite welcome, dear. So you're a girl and you broke up with your boyfriend, and it happened as you think or as you say, very suddenly. And then 2 weeks after the breakup, he is in a serious relationship with a new girl. Have I read this right? Is that what you mean? Let me know if I've gotten the story right. You had a boyfriend, you broke up, and it happened suddenly, you think, and 2 weeks after breakup, he's with a new girlfriend in a serious relationship. Now, let me address this a little bit so you will get a better picture. This didn't happen out of nowhere. This guy have been seeing this girl for a while, and then eventually decided to have a relationship with her. And for 2 weeks after the breakup, you didn't know, he was maybe downplaying it, but eventually he already knew the girl, they knew each other, because 2 weeks after a relationship breakup, pretty much nobody finds another partner which would be a serious relationship, as you say. So this didn't happen out of nowhere. This was in the works. You just didn't know about it. So the asshole is probably has been thinking about it and and planning, and so you shouldn't even think about it for a second, because he didn't deserve to have your attention. These sort of people who don't have the guts to actually come and talk to their partner and tell the truth that, look, I've changed my mind, or I've met another girl and I want to pursue a relationship with her. I'm sorry that this happened this way, but I want to be honest with you because you're such a gracious person and we had a good relationship, and I don't want you to think of me as an asshole that I am, but I just want you to think of me as an asshole. At least this would be some kind of a understanding. But when they actually pretend that there was nothing going on and it's just happened out of they pretended that way, well, then once you find out, which I think that's the case, you should simply be rest assured that you just dodged the bullet, because this guy would have done this eventually someday, because he doesn't have enough class, clarity, or maturity to be able to communicate or to know what the hell he wants, and not pretend that he's with one girl and then working on another girl. So you've got no guilt here, and you just happen to have a bad experience. And this person doesn't deserve a moment of your thoughts in regards to your values, your attention to that, or what happened. A jerk simply arranged to meet another one, and he did. So the rest of it is done. And Siafiko says, no, Mehran, it really happened after the breakup. The new girl is my friend's friend, and she added up him on Instagram. Then they started dating. He told me that it is a faith for her to appear nowhere. It might be as you said, but I don't buy that, because these things don't happen like 2 weeks after breakup. Why 2 weeks after breakup? Why would you say it's after breakup? Why not they knew each other earlier? I'm not sure, but it's a possibility. Coincidence. 2 weeks after breakup. Why not sooner? Why not later? I think because they couldn't hold it more than 2 weeks. Anyhow, it doesn't matter why. Once a breakup happens, guys, one of the problem with every one of you guys is that the ones who get stuck on it is that they're looking for why. It doesn't matter why. What it matters is that the person who's not with you or broke up the relationship, or somehow the relationship is broken up, then it doesn't deserve your attention. That's all. Why? Who cares? The fact is that you guys are not together anymore. If you're not together anymore, you got to find a way to move on rather than keep looking back and say, why? Who cares why? The fact is that now you got a remedy and get yourself out of this, mud puddle that you parked your car and sitting and possibly thinking about it, and move on, because life is far bigger than one relationship and one experience. There's so many opportunities out there that you got to explore. And unless you cut the rope from the dock on your boat, you cut this cable that is holding your boat to the dock, unless you cut that, you can't paddle and you can't turn the engine on to go and search and see other islands. You'll be stuck at the dock. Meaning, unless you start moving forward and meeting other people, this will end up being in your memory, and you will have selected moments of the relationship in your memory, and you will feel the memory will give you comfort, as it seems like everything is the same in the memory, because the brain cannot tell the difference between virtuality and actuality. So you'll keep going into the memory, because the order of life as it used to be when you guys were together is still recorded in the memory. So in the memory, that order exists, where the brain using that order feels secure. So you keep going into the memory and you feel secure. And while you're there and enjoying the security in the virtual world, he's there and you keep seeing him, and then you will end up missing him, because once you see him, the prerequisite file for desire to be born, which is also recorded in your brain, triggers open, and all the steps for desire to be born is already registered there in the memory, recorded, and the brain doesn't know that this is just a memory file, thinks that all the prerequisites for desire to be reborn has now been met, because it doesn't have a sense of time. It thinks everything is new. All these criteria that needed to be met for desire to be born has been met. And then the desire is reborn, and you think you're missing him. No, it's because you went into the memory, you stayed in the memory, and the brain started being triggered by the file that has all the prerequisites for desire to be born. And brain can't tell the difference, thinks it's all fresh, refreshed, and then the desire for that partner is reborn again. Then you got to deal with it. So the best thing for you is to move on, create a new order in the actuality of life. So your brain, you don't have to go in the memory to feel comfortable and safe, because you have a new order out in the actuality of life, which your brain, through that order, new order of life, which comes from new routines and new mechanical processes, which are the things that you do during the day, new friends, new hobbies, new things. You create new routine, and new routine creates new order. And from that order, mind finds security in the actuality of life, rather than going into the memory, finding a recording of the order that used to be and feeling secure there. Once a new order established out in the actuality of life, the brain doesn't go in the memory anymore. So therefore, the trigger for desire file is not happening. Therefore, you don't miss or think that, oh, he was the greatest or she was the greatest, whatever the case may be. And you will be able to move on and experience new things and feel wonderful again. So let's see who we have here. We have OGM says, let's give back to Mehran. Please share the channel. Yeah, please do share the channel. I really would appreciate that.